Good morning, everyone, ladies and gentlemen, and a warm welcome to all of you joining us today. I'm Ernesto Rojas, and I'm pleased to serve as your master ceremony for this special occasion. We acknowledge and celebrate the Nuer people, the first Australians on whose traditional lands we meet, and pay our respect to the elders, past, present, and emerging. We're gathered here at the prestigious Australian National University, a place of higher learning that practices itself in a diverse and a vibrant international community. So today we mainly focus on a dynamic and culturally rich segment of our community, our postgraduate student from Latin America. Thanks to ANU and the Latin American Embassies for organizing this event in partnership with the Latin American, the LASA, Latin American Student Association at ANU. We are hosting this Latin American student panel session to celebrate the unique journeys, learn about their experience, and hear their insights on enriching the university of environment for future international students. So this panel is a testament to ANU's commitment to basically fostering a supportive and inclusive community that encourages dialogue, learning, and mutual understanding. Our panelists today are exceptional individuals who have made the journey from different Latin American countries to study here in Australia. They have embraced new academic challenges and navigate cultural transitions and brought unique perspectives and ideas to our community. They're not just students, they're also ambassadors of their countries, contributing to the rich tapestry of diversity here at ANU. So this morning, they will share the stories, the triumphs, the heartfelt, the surprise, and the lessons learned. I hope that through the narratives, we all can better understand the Latin American student experience at ANU and in Australia more generally. We encourage all of you to engage to this conversation and ask questions, please, and reflect on the experience shared tonight. Thank you for participating in this event, and without further ado, let's start with our panel discussion. So, welcome again, please. Would you like to present yourself, Camila, to all the people that are watching us, your background, and what are you doing here at ANU?
So, good morning, everyone. My name is Camila Souza Barbosa. I'm from Brazil. I'm a biochemist, but I'm doing my PhD here in drug discovery from Malaga. I'm an exchange student, so I'm staying here for 6 months at ANU.
Thank you very much. Romina?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for the invitation and thank you for this space, Solita. My name is Romina Solita. I am from Paraguay. I am economist and civil servant. I am studying a master's degree in applied finance, and I have been living in Australia for 1 year.
Thank you very much, Romina. Jesús, welcome.
Hello, thank you everyone for this opportunity. I'm Jesús Flores. I am from Mexico. I received my PhD at ANU at Research School of Biology. My topic is about synthetic biology, and I have been living in Australia for 8 months so far.
Thank you very much, Jesús. So, Camila, let's get started with you, and can you share with all the people this journey on the science study at ANU, moving from Latin America to Australia, and can you mention some significant factors that influence your decision to come here?
So, like I said, I'm an exchange student. I'm here in Australia with a scholarship from my country. So I came to ANU because I was what I do is drug discovery for malaria. So I came here to understand how my compound kills the parasite. And I came to ANU, sorry, because my supervisor here, she has the expertise to help me understanding to do these studies to understand topic. So that's why my journey was, there was this selective process for my government. I could apply to it, and once I just had to choose which country I wanted to go and which university I wanted to go. So I had to make sure that my university and the university I was going to have collaboration. So this is how I came here. I came here because of my supervisor, the top researcher. Yeah. Did I answer your question?
Yes.
Guys.
It's an official, beautiful journey. Thank you very much, Camila. Romina, in your case, how was your journey coming here, and what are those factors that influence come
Okay.
here?
Personally, firstly, I always had the dream to come and study in an English speaker university. This journey of looking for a postgrad university for university to do my postgrad. Sorry, it was like 4 years ago. After submitted all many applications to other universities, and I have some rejections as well. But I was very lucky to have the admission, a conditional offer from the ANU in 2021, conditional to a pathway English program. And I think was the most important factor is the opportunity that ANU gave me, given my English background. So ANU gave me this program, offered me this program of having a academic English program first. And if I pass the exam, I will have granted with the admission. So I did all that pathway, and it was successful, luckily for me. And also the condition of being a top university in Australia was a very good it was a requirement, sorry, from my government to give me a scholarship. The Paraguayan government have granted a scholarship, and ANU fulfilled all the requirements. It was a main factor, the flexibility of English, and also the condition of being a very prestigious university was the other factor.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you very much, Romina, for that explanation. Jesus, in your case, how was your journey?
Yeah, I was after I finished my master's in Mexico, I wanted to go abroad to continue my PhD. I wanted to focus on this specific topic about synthetic biology, so I was looking for opportunities overseas, and I also was considering Australia. I found the ANU. I found my supervisor at ANU. Obviously, I contacted him. I talking about my interest to in his topic and to work with him. And my supervisor was very friendly. He was very supportive. He told me about what he was doing in his lab, and then he encouraged me like, "Oh, do you want to come to Australia? Just go for it. Like apply for a scholarship, and if you get the scholarship, well, you will be working, right?" So when I got the offer from the university, I didn't think it I didn't think it twice. I mean, I consider it was a very great opportunity because ANU is considered like the best university in Australia, and as I told you, like I felt that my supervisor was a very good person, and that also really influenced my decision to come. And also, like he was telling me about the life in Canberra, and the way he told me how it was for me was like, oh, I want to go there. Really, it seems like a very nice city, like where you can ride your bike, and yeah, I mean that's how I decided to make this decision and to go to Australia.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you very much, Jesus. And the next question, we're gonna start first now with Romina. Romina, how has been the transition in terms of cultural, academically, socially, from Latin America to Australia? It's a big question, so,
It is.
you know.
It's a big and general question. The first thing I can say was like dramatic, impressive, but very worthwhile. So you didn't, as a Latino, you didn't realize that you have a difference in culture, social life. You realize it when you came here. You didn't be aware of that before. I didn't. Sorry. And academically was dramatic, stressful, but in spite of everything, I overcome it. You must be very resilient. You must keep continue being motivated, because the motivation and your passion to your academic to your profession is the passion that makes you overcome all the challenges. And socially, I find it very different. Latino, we used to be more spontaneous. It's very normal to have casual friends. And for example, that's very common in Latin America. But I find it that here is different, but you must adapt it. You didn't realize that you had the ability to adapt every many situations very suddenly. So and that is a skill that you didn't realize before. And since after 1 year, I can say that I adapted very well. But the transition is not easy, but it's not impossible. That's what I can say.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's definitely true. In your case, how was like that transition, like ultra academically, socially, coming from Mexico?
Yeah, as Romina said, like for me it was also like a very complicated pathway, because I was first like used to Mexican food. In here, it's very difficult to find it, or even to find ingredients for cooking Mexican food. You have to adapt, like Romina said, like you have to adapt yourself. In this case, I have to adapt myself to eat generally feel like you can eat anything, like.
Particularly like the
Yeah.
Mexican cuisine is one of the best. Also,
Yeah.
have you found something near that is like that it's similar taste from Mexico here in Australia?
Yes, there is a food truck that is run by Mexican people, and they prepare Mexican tacos that are very similar to the original ones. But I have tried like maybe 2-3 restaurants, and I understand that they have to adapt the food to the Australian taste.
Yeah.
I totally understand that. But yeah, I mean, what they sell as Mexican food, and maybe it's not real Mexican food, but I really understand that. I really understand, right? By the way, regarding that, as I told you, you have to allow yourself to eat. And same like also, people are different. Like even here in Australia, even people that are not Australians are different, right?
Yeah.
Because you are also interacting with people from other countries. So yeah, sometimes the interaction with other people is difficult, but you have to understand that we are all different, right? Maybe we behave different. And academically, I feel that here in Australia, everything is a little bit more relaxed in a way. Like I know I feel that in Mexico they were really like pushing you so much, like they were expecting a lot from you. I mean, I'm not saying like they're not expecting anything from here, but I feel it is more relaxed, that they really encourage you, like you must take care of your mental health, and also like invest your time in doing activities that you like to do, like do not stay until like in the lab.
Try to like have a balance in
Exactly.
your
Yeah.
academic studies in your
Yeah, that's something I really appreciate, because they really encourage, like just have free time and do some activities that that's very good for your life.
for your life. Great, thank you very much. And what about you, Camila? How was like that transition from Brazil as a Brazilian, like culturally, academically, socially, and Australia?
So I'll say first academic because I'll just
Yeah,
I'll go with Jesus. That's why I love Australia. Like, it's a weird feeling, but I feel like I was always pressured in my country, university, and I feel like I can live here. This is weird, I know, but I enjoy my life here. And back home, I was like always stressed, thing, traffic, anything else. It anyway, this is one of the good things I have in Australia, like academically, and with my supervisor, she always encourages me, go for it, and we always talk. It's a great experience. Culturally, so I think all Latin American people, we show affection, and I'm always hugging my friends at the lab. Everyone that I like, I'm always hugging them. So I miss that, I really miss that. And sometimes it's hard. It's good that there are some Brazilians in my building, so I just quickly go there and say, like, hug time, please. So yeah, we have, like Romina said, is resilience. Like, it's doable. Uh, Being in a different place, adapting and everything else. But that's why it's so important to have LASA and that we have this conversation, that we are talking with each other, because it's also good to have this community, like for you to have this feeling from back home, and even though same like beautiful country as Australia and Canberra, it's a good place. It's quiet, but I love it. And about the food, so I love being in a place where we can try different types of food. I just love Asian food, it's so amazing. But we don't have a Brazilian restaurant in Canberra yet, but we have a food truck. Apparently it's good. I haven't tried it yet, but it's good. Some people told me that it's good, but I have a friend that she cooks amazing. It's so nice. So she's my friend. I can enjoy it. And it's so nice, like, to show, because I do some Brazilian things. I bake some Brazilian things. It's so great to show my friends here. I just love like sharing this experience. So that this is the good thing, to be an exciting thing, like surprise them with nice stuff.
nice. I think we need to mention that one of the biggest Latin American community here in Australia, they absolutely is from Brazil, right? So you can find Brazilians almost everywhere.
In
and
Australia, yeah.
Almost everywhere. So
That's a privilege.
Yeah, and there are a lot of restaurants, Sydney, Melbourne,
That's
all
a
over.
privilege.
just to that brief comment, like, what I found with Brazilians is like where you find beaches, you will find Brazil.
Exactly.
Absolutely. You find beaches, you will find a Brazilian.
Yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you very much for sharing, Camila. Now, so you as a Latino student, you can mention some unique challenge, particular challenge and opportunities that you encounter while you're studying at AAU. You can mention the challenges, or you can mention the opportunities. You can mention both. Which one would you like?
I think that we, as Latino students, we have to also face with some kind of stereotypes, to call it that, because as we are far away from Australia, maybe they don't have so much information about our countries, and maybe they just see movies from USA, and they think that they believe those stereotypes, and maybe they don't have the correct information about your country, but maybe, I mean, you can share something with them. I think it's good. Like, I think this is one of like the challenges sometimes like you have to face. But I think like also staying here and being able to be part of this university, and it is a prestigious university. In the future, like you can be considered for different job opportunities either here and either here in Australia or even overseas. Or I consider that right now I feel like in my lab I am running a project that if everything goes according to the plan, it can be successful. So in the future, like, have it or be really that inclusive that, they can, give you other opportunities in the future, even companies, academic field, whatever. So it's very good, I think.
Thank you very much. Jesús. What about you? What are the specific like opportunities and challenge that you find like while you're studying here? I mean, could be right now, could be you're back.
Yeah, so one of the things that Jesus said is like the stereotypes quite can be difficult to deal with, but you just show people. Okay? Because everyone, we always think about stereotypes of, we always had an opinion, right? Anyway, so one of the big challenges is like be able to communicate as myself in English. It can be hard, but it's a lesson, it's a learning process. So like we were talking before, you just have to be patient with yourself and give you time. It's just like when you're starting your PhD. Suddenly at the beginning, I was like feeling down. I don't know anything, but suddenly I just started to feel, oh, I know this, I know that, I'm learning. So the learning progress, it's quite good to see. And I think at ANU, I don't know much about the PhD because I'm an exchange student, so I don't have a lot of time to look around things. But one of the things that was really impressive is that prior you start your research, you have an agreement, like a contract agreement with your supervisor. We don't have that in Brazil. And I was like, I would love to have that because I would know what it was in words, what it was expected from me and what I should expect from my supervisor. I think this is really important. And I think Jesus can talk more about, or maybe, there are different programs here that can support you, like learning. I've seen in RSV, like they can give you some money to travel for conference, which is but they can give you like, if you want a specific skill to be that they can bring to you so you can talk. Apparently there's something like that here as well, which I think is interesting. And to finish my answer, the opportunities that I think it's gonna look good on my resume that I internship here in a top research university, and I hope it will help me find a job and hopefully back in Australia.
Thank you very much. Camila, what about Europe? You find a set of challenges and opportunities. You can talk about both or thanks.
Okay, I will try to answer that. I think so. Very general question. Let me see if I can answer. Comparing with Camila and Jesus, my postgrad is a coursework program, which is your routine is different. So you don't have supervisor, you have like lectures and tutorials and workshops sometimes. So you don't have too much opportunity to interact with the teachers. Sometimes I didn't have. That's a challenge for me because I find it challenging because in all the lectures I came from in Latin America, it's very common to have more interactions with the teachers. So you are more free to ask questions, to interrupt the teacher. Sometimes, which is common, but I came here and I find in my course, in my program, so we don't have that. So it was a very challenge for me because I find it a dramatic environment, a different environment. So it was a challenge for me to break the ice. So that is something Latino I had to bring it in the lecture. So I had to break the ice and raise my hand and lose my fear and ask questions. And I really find that teachers they really appreciate that. And what's making me feel bad. Yeah. And so that was a challenge, one of the challenge, only one. One of the challenge and the opportunity as well, because they really appreciate the feedback and I think ANU really appreciate all that kind of feedbacks. They offer you an opportunity to share your concerns. And last week we had like a CBE representative talking with us, like they invite us a coffee and they
Just to get feedback.
exactly for more students. And I find it very remarkable of ANU. They're very open to feedback. They like feedback, and wow, and they make you a student very confident and free to share what are your concerns and share what are the expectations that the college has with you as a student and you as a student has with all the academic staff and the teachers as well. And I think that's a challenge.
Yeah, that's, let's say, like, basically set and say, like, this is what we expect from you, this is what we're looking for, and this is gonna be, like, the outcomes, what we try to get and expect from you, and then, that's quite interesting.
But one of the things I think that we want to make sure, it's a great opportunity. It's so good to be here, but it's difficult. We want to make sure that you guys understand that it's hard because, for example, I was talking to Romina. I'm going to talk about my students. So the way universities are in different countries, that the topics are taught are all different. Sometimes I feel like that my background in Brazil was a little down compared to here, because here things because they always they have like written assignments, so it makes you feel more argumentative, more critical, develop your critical thinking.
Yes.
And sometimes I feel like you said, it's a gap, so you have to overcome that. So we want to make sure that you guys understand it is hard, but it is a great opportunity, and that's why you need to be patient and resilient.
Thank you very
If
much.
you guys want to say something about that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for saying that it is hard, it is complex, it is challenging, and yeah, but on the other hand, it's beautiful having that experience, that challenge, and just to understand that we really can deal with that challenge. We are doing that. You are doing that. It's fabulous. And back to you again, Camila. Is how does the academic environment at AU you can compare to your institution in Brazil? How can you compare? In terms of academic, in terms of relationship with professors, in terms of how you compare these two institutions, AU and back to Brazil?
So that's one of the things that Romina said. I have the feeling that here at ANU, they are more accepting of feedback. At sometimes I don't feel the same at all. I'm studying a different state. I'm doing my PhD in a different state in Brazil. So I struggled a little bit with the cultural difference, even in my own country. But here at ANU, I feel like that I can, it's kind of freedom of talk. They will listen to me. I have this feeling. I can be wrong because I haven't been here for long. And I've been lucky that I didn't have any difficult situations like to deal with here. But I feel like if they listen, they would listen. Sometimes I have the feeling that back home, the university administration, teachers, they don't listen to you. Like you're just a student, you're young.
Yeah, it's great point that you're just writing. What about you, Romina? Like just like comparing the Paraguayan academic institution. I know you study economics.
Yeah.
Paraguay, you have to compare some highlights about ANU and Paraguay. How do you have you compared?
That's a good question. I had a lot of things to say. Well, I came from the National University of Asunción, which is the #1 university in my country. I was a good student there. That's why I have granted with a scholarship of my government. but since I came here, I realized there was a huge gap between my background knowledge, and that's why for that reason it's very important to set what are the expectations of ANU to students and from students to ANU, and the spaces of feedback are very important in that sense. Well, academically, the Paraguayan education system is a little bit, the quality is lower to ANU. So when I came here, I feel a lot of a gap. For example, the mathematical background was poor, honestly, and to learn statistics. So when you learn topics in ANU, they expect you to you have that assumed knowledge. I have read, I have listened, I'm sorry, I have heard a lot about the assumed knowledge. So, but it was very struggling for me that feeling that gap was so struggling. But difficult, but not impossible. Despite of every challenge, I can say that I was about to finish. I am about to finish this program. So despite everything,
Almost there.
yeah, I almost finished this semester. I hope so. And but also we have to say that is the huge challenge is the academic gap between my home country university and ANU, which is a top university. And you as a student feel a lot of pressure. Or sometimes you feel like you don't deserve when you fail, or when you, being honestly, so you feel that you don't deserve, like, oh, I cannot do this. So that's why I remark, I point out that you have to be very resilient. And the main motivation that makes you resilient to overcome of that kind of difficulties academically, psychologically, emotionally, is that you like your subject and the passion you feel with your subject. I still have the passion for economics and finance, and that's my main motivation to overcome challenge.
Thank you. No, thank you very much. Very important. What you're just highlighting. What about you?
Yeah, well, if I compare, I come from UNAM in Mexico, and if I compare like the level of, well, in my experience, is like I think they're similar level, just that I feel like in Mexico you have a lot of pressure. Like you are a postgraduate student, like they were like pushing you so much, so hard all the time. But I don't know, here I feel more relaxed, and I feel here they have like more resources for research. So in my case, in my lab, you know, if I need something like, oh, I am running out of something, like, oh, just order it, that it is here tomorrow. Like, I mean, you can, that is something good, because I mean, you didn't have such limitations sometimes, you know, for your research.
You think here you can find like more tools in terms of like your research?
Yeah, more tools, like more, you know, like resources, like, you know, economically talking, like, you know, they have more money for research, so it is good. And you know, the labs they have, they're like top-notch labs, and which is good. And but yeah, I mean, I think, you know, something, and I need to say it, like, here, even though they have a lot of resources and everything, at the same time they encourage you to have your free time, and you know, not to be burned out or something, like, you know. I feel like in Mexico the pressure was too high. It was so much all the time, so much stress. And here, I mean, if I compare my situation, I live like 20 minutes away, riding my bike, which is good. If I need to experiment at the lab, I can go. I can leave the lab very late if it is needed, and which is good. I mean, that's something I didn't have in Mexico. So I consider myself in a very privileged situation.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. Back to you, Romina, with a new question. What do you think, like, universities like ANU can have a better support to students coming from us? What do you think you're gonna feel like, okay, and you could help me in this sort of way, like to help me to come here to Australia, to engage, to try to motivate more, like the Latin American community come to such an amazing country with beautiful people like Australia.
Well, I can tell from my experience that ANU already gave me the opportunity as a Latina to came here, and I really appreciate that. Because while others, for example, US universities, UK universities from UK, for example, English speaker universities, they are more competitive. But in Australia, I find that they are more flexible. And they are more flexible. They gave these opportunities, for example, the English pathway program. It was so important for me because ANU gave me all the tools and techniques and methods, which was very useful for my everyday routine in the academic environment. For example, they taught me regarding reading techniques, reading journal articles, and writing essays and reports, which are very useful in my everyday environment here. And I will never forget it. And I feel very grateful with ANU without that opportunities, because while other universities reject me like ANU gave me the opportunity. ANU gave me one chance for me to demonstrate them that I can, and I will really I will never forget it. And I am really grateful for ANU. I think ANU has this great has this great tool for Latino to came here, and I will encourage you other Latino students to apply for ANU. And also the other initiatives like LASA are very important. As Camila said, that makes you feel like we are in family, in a close community, which is very important to balance your hard and difficult or challenging academic life. They balance with your like personal life, and this kind of spaces like LASA initiatives are very important. I think ANU has this tool and already has this very important tool for us Latino students who came here.
Thank you very much, Romina. What do you think is how we can feel a better support for students like coming from Latin America from in like we know like the market, the academic market in terms of having more international students globally. It's very competitive. Australia is definitely one of the best countries to come to study as an international student and as a Latino. But you also have like United States, you have UK, you have a very competitive market. So how ANU as a top university in the world can support the people, the students from Latin America like us to come more here rather than other places, other universities.
Yeah, well, in my case, regarding my topic, I think that, if ANU, some researchers from ANU, they can try to make collaborations with people from, for example, in Mexico, like, they can, because, I mean, ANU is a top university, but, you have to, in my case, I had to look for it. I mean, I didn't know much about it because, the first university that in my topic was like, oh, going to the UK, like in Cambridge or Imperial College London, like that. right? Because that's the first thing, or maybe the US, because in Mexico, the US is our country, so
Yeah.
it's easier for Mexicans to go there. In that case, I feel like if there can be like more like collaborations regarding research, that can be a way that and you can be considered as one of some more destinations, like for PhD students or master students, people they want to come to Australia. But also, I feel that this difference in being in another continent and everything that also affects, because traveling to Australia is not cheap. So that is something like has to be considered, because as I told, like maybe I think from Mexico it's easier to go to Europe, to the USA, to Canada, than coming to Australia. Coming to Australia, I feel it's very expensive.
Okay.
That's something like
Yeah, they-
What do you think? This question, Camila, what is your point of view about this?
Point the money like credit far for Latin America. Anyway, I think I've never heard about this program that Romina talking about, the English passport. I think it just spread the word. I don't know, do some workshops with students who wanted to come here sometime, like workshop regarding the English pathway. I just had this idea, but since my path is a kind of different guy.
Do you think providing like kind of probably more scholarship could be a way to attract more Latin American students to come in? Such as, yeah, we have a limitation of the distance because it's very far away, but we know that it's a decent country. It has the best universities in the world here in Australia as well. So do you think like providing probably more like range of scholarship could be an option, or like type of research?
I think they have like a program. I think some universities in Australia have like a program for Latin American scholarships. I'm not sure, but I think it would increase like maybe. And then also like they have to market it, because it's not something easy to find. If I didn't know, I've never heard about this English pathway program. Just hearing from Romina.
Yeah.
How could I find it? It's just the way to getting people to know what they are providing. I don't know.
Which is a very, very big and important point as well. Back to you with a new question. What are your plans after graduation? Like, what are your plans after? What do you plan to return to Mexico? What is your plan after finish your studies here?
Right now, the thing that I have thought about it is like, maybe I can finish here and try to find a job if it is possible with the postgraduate visa. If you're a student here as postgraduate, after you finish, what I know that you can stay like a couple of years, something like you can start working. So my plan is like try to find a job either in Canberra or moving to another city in Australia, like Sydney or Melbourne. Because in my case, I would like to continue my career, maybe working by a pharmaceutical company or biotechnological company. And I have seen that there are some companies in those cities, so maybe that's what I will try to do. I don't know if something is, if there's, that's a great opportunity for my future. Like, maybe if I see that I can have a future here in Australia, but I don't know, try to find a way to stay here, or I don't know, maybe try somewhere else overseas. But I mean, at some point, like, as I told you, like having this after studying here, that gives you like a very good procedures and your CV for your career. So I think like, even if you don't want to stay here in Australia, that can really support you in a way like you can be considered even in some more places overseas. I consider like this universities very prestigious, and that will help you a lot in your career.
Absolutely, absolutely. In your case, Camila, what's your plan? What's your plan after finish this study?
It's a hard question for someone who is about to finish their PhD.
Wow, very, very important.
Yeah. But yeah, once I finish, so I have to go back to Brazil to finish my PhD. Once I finish my PhD, I'll go to find a job. I would like to come back to Australia, just like I said, I like living here. I can feel like, even though I love my family, I'll miss them very much, but the distance can be quite hard. But I think I just love how I am here in Australia, like how I'm me here, how I live. I can say that I live my life here, so that's one of the things that I'm thinking about coming back.
When you're saying I am living my life, what does it mean?
Sometimes in Brazil, I just feel that I was surviving. And even with inflation there, like I received money from my government to do my research. And by years passing by, I suddenly saw that I couldn't buy as much as I would buy in the beginning. So my money was working less. And sometimes I had the feeling that I was just surviving because it's a lot of pressure. It's not just the money, it's a lot of pressure themselves. If you're not at the lab, like crazy hours, like doing a lot of jobs, maybe you're not worth it. That's what it was. And then, so here I think like, we still have pressure. Don't get me wrong. You still have to do your PhD, you still have to publish your work and everything else. We have pressure, but it's not like overwhelming pressure. That's why I can say that I can survive. I'm not surviving, I'm living. Living is different from surviving, you know?
Yes.
Yeah.
Academic life.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Now, in your case, Romina, what is your plan?
Well, and I have granted without scholarship from my government with the condition I'll come back. So I have to go back. And also I am a civil servant in the company. So I think that my postgraduate study, all my new knowledge, all my skills will be very useful. And will be very useful because, well, it's a huge upgrade. I am not the same person comparing when I was in Paraguay. So I hope to find opportunities to apply all my knowledge because if I really know more, I can solve more complex problems. I think I am more prepared for difficult problems in my country, mainly in my field, especially in my field. As a civil servant, I work for the government and I am in the regulation of the financial institutions sector. And I think I can like solve more complex problems and I feel more prepared to be better at my job right now. And so I hope to fully apply what all I have learned here. And not only as a civil servant, I think if I have the opportunity to teach others as well, to involve more in the academic field in my country, it will be a good way to say thank you to my government for all the opportunity.
And thank you so much. I would like to get back to these things about like Australia is such a great country.
Yeah.
We are having a distance between Latin America and Australia. Pretty far to recognize that. And of course, we think like Australia is more expensive. It's not a cheap country.
Yeah.
To recognize that. how do you find, or have you had, this is the question for me, any of you, balance the studies, and have you have to get a job, to look at a job or a casual part-time job here in Australia to afford your living expenses here in Australia? And how was like dealing with the academic pressure from a top university in the world while you are working as a part-time to survive as well? I don't know if any of you have that experience or.
Yeah, I can answer with my experience. First, as I got the PhD scholarship, I get like a monthly stipend that can help me to survive. But in my case, my supervisor gave me the opportunity to work as a demonstrator. Demonstrator is like, there's like a lab practice about there's a subject there, they have like the lab site, right? So I am part of the demonstrator, and I am helping the students if they don't understand something about the practice or whatever, and working as that, I get like extra income. Or I think also it depends so much on your lifestyle. Like if you like eating outside, if you like going every weekend to the cinema, or some of that, you prefer go to Sydney every weekend, like it's so expensive. I mean, you can travel in Australia, but you have to be honest and realistic that it is expensive. Even I mean, you can travel, but it is expensive. So I have more like a casual, like that gave me like extra money, and there are also different opportunities that you can apply for. Another kind of scholarship. I applied for a top-up scholarship that is called that, and they will give me so much extra funding for myself and also for my research. So there are different opportunities that you can get like extra income for yourself. Even you can save money for your future, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. It's challenging because you need to balance both. I'll go with another question, guys, because we are running out of time. So we have like roughly 1 minute each to answer this question. 1 minute and a bit more, if you can. Is what advice would you give to the future student of Latin America to study at like ANU or in Australia? What do you think like the advices that you can give to the future Latin American students to come to ANU or Australia? You can start with Camila.
So, if you guys want to come, don't be shy, just go for it. You can do. It's hard, it can be like scary, but you're gonna find some Latin American people here to share and to get support. Just go for it. You have nothing to lose. It's a great experience.
Thank you very much. Camila, Romina.
Okay, I can say that it's a great experience. It's extraordinary, all the things and all the aspects in your life. Very worthwhile. It makes you feel better as a person. You're not the same person as you were before. And one advice actually I will give sorry, future students is from my mistakes. And if you apply for a university of ANU, you have to be very familiar thoroughly with the program and all the access and how they assess your progress. Sorry, all the assignments, tests, or quizzes they have. All the university assess your knowledge. So you have to be very familiar with the program and all the requirements and all the expectations that university have to you as a student. That will give you more confidence and will make you feel less shy and less intimidated since you came here, because you feel the pressure that you have in the best university of Australia, and that could be intimidating, but and challenging, but not impossible.
Thank you, Romina. And finally, Jesús, what would be your advice?
Yeah, in my case, for research, if anyone wants to come to Australia, first is like find a topic that you really want to develop, to do, whatever. And if there is a supervisor, just talk to that supervisor. They have what kind of wanting they can have. Maybe you can apply for a scholarship. And if you decide to go that way, just try to get all your documents ready on time because you have to apply for your IELTS. And also, like as I said before, like it is expensive to come to Australia. Um, I had the privilege that the university refunded me the money that I spent for travel to Australia, which is good. Yeah, so there are a lot of things that there are good things that this university gives you. So yeah, so just get all the information that you need, be sure what you want to do, and sometimes it's just about luck. To be honest, it's about luck, and yeah, we are all affected by luck, and yeah, but if you don't try it, you will not get it.
That's a
So,
portion of the.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you very much for your reflection, for sharing your thoughts, your experience, and that is extremely helpful for all the people that are watching us. And we're just gonna close now this, we're gonna have more minutes, or we're having more minutes. Excellent. Well, so basically, and I just want to add a little bit more about the coming back again about working and starting here in Australia. We don't have more minutes to the question. Yeah, we're gonna finish now this, but we have some question, Marco, from the people. That will be amazing. So let's go for the question for the people where they are interested. They're asking questions, so it's very important to answer this question. Yeah.
Yeah, I just quickly introduce myself. Marcos, president of LASA. Guys, excellent job, great job, and that's a fantastic job as MC. We want to hear from your experiences, right? Like a lot of people asking about what your experience has been as a student, what your student journey has been like, what the opportunities that you've had at ANU, and what your favorite memory has been.
Well, in my case was a particular case coming to ANU. I was dealing with the COVID, so was challenging. I was working as a commercial manager in my country. I just quit that. I received the unconditional offer from ANU. I decided to say, well, always my dream was coming to Australia to study here in such an amazing country, and I can't give up the opportunity. So I quit my job, and I start my first semester in Paraguay, with 14, 15 hours of difference between Paraguay and Australia, from midnight, classes having from midnight to 6 a.m. And that was really tough. After that, I say myself, like, because I'm kind of person that I can't sleep at 6 a.m. and then like sleep and wake up at 1 p.m. I'll be good. No, like I can't. So that time I have to take some pill to sleep, to try to balance all my sleeping stuff. And after I finished the first semester, was probably one of the hardest challenges in my whole life. I say myself, I'm not gonna have this time difference again to study because it was really complicated. And the airport in Australia is still closed. So I decided to go to Taiwan and do my second semester from Taiwan, because I had my undergraduate degree from Taiwan. I studied there for 5 years. So it's while coming back to Taiwan, do the second semester of Australia in Taiwan, which also had like 3 hours of difference, which is manageable. I got a part-time job in Taiwan, and I have to manage a part-time job with my studies in Australia online as a second semester with less time difference. Finally, the airport in Australia was open, and I could enter in Australia. And now in 3 weeks, you're gonna finishing after 1 year doing in person my master degree. So I'm gonna have my master in management, innovation, and entrepreneurship. So after 2 years in an amazing journey, very, very, very challenging journey, starting in a COVID situation, very, very, very complex, but an experience that I'm never gonna forget in my life, because having the opportunity, as all you guys mentioned, to study here in Australia was amazing experience. What a fantastic experience to meet a lot of people from different backgrounds, from different continents, different countries. So that experience was so helpful, and we all know that that experience challenge, academic challenge, and also like having the possibility to work here in Australia, because I had to find a job to afford my studies, my living expenses. I got a scholarship from my government, from the Gulf, but covered me 75% of the tuition total, and my living expenses I had to afford all my living expenses here. I find a job here in Australia as a part-time job, and found amazing, like trying to balance both, like academic job, the job pressure, the environment, the atmosphere, the working atmosphere in Australia is fabulous. I love it. The working here, they are very professional. So a lot of things that I'm really proud of you guys, myself, because we know how challenging was this experience. That was basically.
Cool. And for each of the panelists, what is your favorite memory of studying at ANU?
That's a good one.
I will never forget the campus, the quiet campus. The quiet campus is amazing. You're surrounded by the nature, the birds. I couldn't imagine I will become a fan of the birds. Yeah, but not the bad, but there's like the swapping birds in magpies in September, or not that. But I will never forget the being here, the feeling of safety.
Yeah.
And the feeling of this society, Australian society, which is very people. So I will never forget, because imagine if I got feel the sensation of inequality in some environment, and I never felt here, and that's unique as well.
Yeah, that's true. The birds, they're a little bit scary because they're not afraid of us. So anyway, but I like them. I definitely, I love the trees. We don't have seasons in the, we can't see like autumn, spring. I can't see autumn here. It's so amazing.
Autumn in Canberra.
Yeah. And I'm about to see snow. It's the first time in my life. So this is gonna be my birthday gift.
That's amazing.
This is gonna be memorable.
Fantastic.
Yeah, well, in my case, I like the fact that I feel independent, and I can come to the campus to work in the lab whenever I want, and as they say, like, you feel that safety environment, you feel safe because I can come, I can leave the lab until midnight, and I just have to be careful about. Here in Australia, you have to be careful about the magpies, those kind of birds, and you have to be careful about that. Really.
Only that.
Oh yeah, magpies.
Yeah, I'll say, like, in terms of academic way, I'll say how the way the professors trying to promote the discussions, the debates among the whole classroom, the members, the students, and that is very insightful, a very insightful experience. And in terms of working, I'll say, like, the balance that Australians, how Australians know how to balance their work with their life. That's the main thing that we need to learn that also in Latin America. The working rights that they have, and they have a lot of respect of the working rights here. in Australia. Just to give you an example, like if you finish your job at 5 p.m., you have to go at 5 p.m. and they're very respectful of those kind of things. And also give you, as you mentioned in one of the answers, like a lot of tools, a lot of resources in terms of working, and academically, a lot of resources in terms of research, tools to develop yourself in terms of your studies and also in your working environment. So yeah, both of them, and I think like your experience as well, they're amazing, they're great. And of course, we love this country. And we would like to encourage people from Latin America, students from Latin America, to come here and having the same experience as we used to have. It was an honor, was really an honor.
Yeah.
Do we have more time, or we're almost to finish? Well, just to finish, thank you very much, guys, for coming. Thank you very much for sharing your experience. I would like to say thank you again to ANU. Thank you very much, Joshua. Thank you very much for the members of the Latin American Embassies, like ANU, Latin American Embassies, organizing with the partnership with the whole team of LASA. Thank you very much, Marcos Penteado, our president of LASA. And thank you very much, everyone who's watching us. And we hope this could be very helpful for all of you and more Latin American students come to Australia. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.